From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, April the 13th, 2017. Israeli security forces arrested a Palestinian man Monday night who was armed and on his way to carry out a terror attack. The 20-year-old was trying to get through the Kalandia crossing from the West Bank into Israel when he was found to be carrying a knife and a stun grenade. And during questioning, he said that he was planning a stabbing attack on the eve of Passover with another person who later turned himself in to security officials. Tens of thousands of Jewish worshippers gathered at the Western Wall in Jerusalem today for Birkat HaKohanim, the priestly blessing ceremony which is held on Passover and on Sukkot. The Western Wall Heritage Foundation estimated that 80,000 people came to the holy site for the traditional blessing today. Israel police were on high alert with additional forces deployed around the city to maintain calm and order. There is growing concern in Belgium's Jewish community that Jewish ritual slaughter could be banned in the country. Belgian Jews are protesting against plans by the country's regional assemblies to outlaw the Jewish ritual entirely. The president of Belgium's Central Jewish Consistory, Philippe Markowitz, called efforts aimed at reaching a total ban by 2019 a, quote, crisis without precedent, if not the biggest crisis since World War II. Israel's foreign ministry strongly criticized far-right French presidential candidate Marine Le Pen over remarks she made this week about the arrests and deportation of thousands of Jews in France during the Holocaust. Le Pen, who leads the National Front Party, when asked about the roundup and deportation of over 13,000 Jews from the Veldiv Stadium in 1942, denied any responsibility by France. She told the RTL network and Le Figaro on Monday, "I think France is not responsible for Veldiv. I think generally and in very general terms indeed, if anyone is responsible, then it is those in power at the time, not France as such." Israel's foreign ministry called the declaration contrary to historical truth, citing successive French presidents who recognized France's responsibility for the fate of the French Jews who perished in the Holocaust. The ministry said this recognition underpins the annual events marking the anniversary of the expulsion of the Jews from France and the study of the Holocaust in the education system, both of which are important elements in the battle against anti-Semitism, which unfortunately is once again raising its head. Le Pen's father, Jean-Marie, was thrown out of the National Front Party back in 2015 for his anti-Semitic views and Holocaust denial. Le Pen later this week said that it was the Vichy regime, the government in power at the time, that was responsible, and it, she said, was not France, adding, though it does not in any way exonerate the personal responsibility of the French who participated in the vile roundup of the Veldiv and all the atrocities committed during that period. Renowned AIDS researcher Dr. Mark Wainberg has died. Wainberg, who is from Montreal, drowned on Tuesday, reportedly after suffering an asthma attack while he was vacationing in Florida for Passover. The 71-year-old was known as a pioneer in the field of AIDS research. He worked at the Montreal Jewish General Hospital's Lady Davis Institute and was director of the McGill University AIDS Center, and was honored numerous times for his decades-long work, which included one of the first effective antiviral treatments that helped significantly extend the survival of HIV/AIDS patients. Australia has named its new ambassador to Israel. Chris Cannon will replace Dave Sharma, who has served in the role since 2013. Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop thanked Sharma for his, quote, outstanding contribution to advancing the Australia-Israel relationship. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, April the 13th at 7 o'clock, it's the second plenary from the AIPAC National Policy Conference, featuring U.S. Vice President Mike Pence, former Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper, Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Browser, and AIPAC CEO Howard Kaur. That's followed at 9 by a discussion led by Mark Golub of the Israeli government's decision to build the first new settlement on the West Bank in 20 years, with NYU law professor Thane Rosenbaum, President Emeritus of the Union for Reform Judaism Eric Yaffe, and Executive Director of Americans for a Safe Israel Helen Friedman. And coming up right after this newscast tonight, I sit in for Mark Golub on In the News to speak with Alexander Rappaport, the executive director of Masbia, a kosher soup kitchen in New York, about their incredible work to make sure that all in need can properly celebrate Passover. That's right after this newscast tonight at 6:30. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, April the 13th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader. Thank you.